You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello and welcome to another Up the Turnpike post-game show. What's going on? Matt O'Leary, Mitch Anderson. Mitch, how are you this afternoon?
Fell asleep because that game was super friggin' boring. Holy shit, was that game boring?
Yes, the Islanders in a matinee game, they win, which is a surprise, although the Islanders were eliminated yesterday, so these wins don't really mean a whole lot. But a 1-0 game, not a ton happened. We'll talk about the key points and answer your questions. But before we even get into some of the game stuff, I think we have to talk about maybe the biggest surprise, which happened before the game, was that when we found out Ilya Sorokin would actually be playing in this game, Mitch.
Why? It makes like Nick is saying it here, and I totally agree. There's so many things Lou does that would get any other GM fired, but it comes to like, why are you playing your franchise goalie right after you got hurt and you just got eliminated? What are you doing? What are we doing this for?
It doesn't. I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. I literally tweeted out essentially the same thing. I was like, anytime you could play your injured franchise goalie after you've been eliminated, you just have to do it. It's like, I get it. He ended up coming in. He played well today, had the shutout. It's not about Ilya Sorokin in like, oh, I didn't think he could handle it. It's the logic of you're like, just let him have the last 3 games. Make sure he's totally good, because it's more important for him that next year he's, doesn't get worse, injury wise, or doesn't re-aggravate or anything like that, than him coming in for a meaningless 3 games.
It makes no sense. Exactly. It's a meaningless 3 games. Just play Hogberg. Let him develop his confidence. You're probably going to need him next year, because I don't know if you've heard. I know you have, Matt, but you at home maybe not. Although I'm sure you have. Semyon Varlamov I don't know if he exists anymore. Where is he?
I haven't heard from him since literally American Thanksgiving. He played, I believe it was the Black Friday game. He got hurt. So the day after Thanksgiving.
End of November. We have not heard. We heard once that he was skating again. Remember that? And then
but that's what, January? Maybe we heard that. Like, that's months ago at this point.
Exactly. So we're going to need a backup. And we talked about it in the post-game show yesterday, that we're going to need a backup going forward. So put Hogberg in there. Get him to develop some confidence. I understand it's end of the year. And so does that confidence that you develop here transfer over through the summer? Maybe not. But what if it does? Might as well. You have nothing. Or he's shit and you're like, okay, well, we're good here. Although he's still got another year in his contract. So like, that's obviously not going to happen. What are we? It makes no sense. It makes no sense to play Ilya Sorokin in a game that doesn't matter at all. Ask the Devils how little this game mattered. They played like they couldn't care less.
I was going to say, they showed you how much, or how little, I guess is the better way to phrase it, it mattered by their effort. It felt like final 5 minutes, they realized, oh yeah, we're playing a hockey game today. And you know what? Let's try. We're down a goal. We're still in this. Let's try to come back. And they had some legitimate pressure in the final minutes there. We'll get to the third period in a little bit, but just a game that didn't matter. I thought it was a little strange.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, the second you sent it to me, I was like, this can't be real. There's no way that they're actually going to play Ilya Sorokin. And sure enough, here we are. They played Ilya Sorokin. He gets a shutout, which is great. Obviously, he now is tied for second in franchise shutouts, which is objectively a good thing.
Sure.
But like, it didn't friggin' matter, man. It didn't matter.
All right, let's get into this game, Mitch. No goals in the first period. A couple penalties were taken. Cizikas has a hooking, and then Nathan Bashin boards Casey Cizikas later in the period. Not a whole lot going for either power play. In fact, in that first period, most of the Islander. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is second period. I'm going to put a pin in my thought until we get to the second period. But anything of note happened to you in period 1?
No, Islanders had a number of shots, right? 7 shots in the power play, of course, because they generated so many. I don't know if they generated them, but they got them. But still, didn't really get anything for it. There's nothing really to talk about here. Was this the period with the Horvat goal? No,
end of the second.
Oh, wait.
No. You're right. I apologize. The one that was called back. Yeah. So we could talk about that. Goes off the shaft of Bo Horvat's stick, but hits his glove on the way. So that does not count.
Yeah, so like the puck, he gets it onto Markstrom, it bounces back on his stick, and he's like trying to cross check the puck into the net.
Pretty
And
much.
as he's doing that, he kind of pushes forward with his arm, and it bounces, as you said, off his hand and in. And so you're not allowed to do that, which is fair. If anyone else did that to us, I'd be pissed. So they call it off, and we go through the first period tied 0-0.
So my stat, maybe it was from the first period. I think I was right. How many shots did you say came on the power play?
7.
Okay,
sorry, shot attempts were 7.
I think it was 5 shots on net in that first period. They had 8 total in the period. So they had 3 5-on-5 shots.
Which is why they had 23 shot attempts in all situations in the first period, did the New York Islanders. And I don't know if the Devils blocked a lot of shots. They blocked 9. So they didn't block a lot. We were just missing the net a lot. Clearly. Okay. That's insane. Of 23 shot attempts, we had only 8 go through the net, go onto the net. Insane stuff. Ridiculous.
They did hit a couple crossbars, but it's still embarrassing that, hey, you had 5 on the power play and then did nothing essentially else the rest of the period.
Yeah. It's just insane stuff, man. Anyways.
All right. So into the second we go. Before we get to the goal, you have the match penalty that happened to Adam Pelech where he gets hit up high. What was your reaction? I'll pull it up here while you're talking about
legitimate game misconduct penalty. I don't understand how Biz is arguing like, oh, there's nothing he could have done there. Maybe don't extend your arm into him. Maybe not do that. I understand like it was going into a 50-50 puck, but
which cut the nose.
You can't go right through him.
No. As you see a pretty good angle there, hits him right in the face.
Right. And like you can see the follow through with the arm, man.
Yeah, you could. And Pelech was pissed. I think they show it after this. This is a longer replay, so I'm pretty sure we'll see his reaction. He goes off bleeding, spiked his helmet.
Yeah.
And I think he's really just more upset because this is someone who's had concussion issues in his career. So scary.
Yeah, I didn't see that how pissed off he was until just now. Like that really, I don't know, set him off. And right,
he spiked his helmet too, which I don't know if. Oh, maybe on this one we can
injuries.
Hang on, sorry. I hate that when you open it, it automatically gives you the audio with it.
Right,
the spike of the helmet as he goes off. I'll let it loop while we're talking here, but clearly he was upset.
Yeah, because he's not doing anything wrong on these plays. Like this is multiple times that he gets hit this way, and he's not putting himself in a dangerous position. He's shooting the puck. The puck comes to him and he shoots it as you're allowed to do in hockey. And this guy's like, I'm just going to run right through you because screw you. Insane stuff. I don't understand how these plays keep happening. And then you have people like Biz, like, well, what's he supposed to do? Not go into it. Just don't go into it, my dude. It's not easy.
Frustrating. And then there's got a 5-minute major and generate 1 shot in the 5-minute power play, which is just,
of course,
I was just felt myself sitting on the couch just shaking my head at the TV.
Yeah, like as you mentioned, they had 5 shots in the first period on 3 different power plays. They have 1 5-minute contiguous power play, and they can only get 1 shot. Ridiculous, stupid.
Very, very. But we would get the first and only goal from this game. So let's take a look. Bo Horvat at 19:03. This one would count.
This one would count. And the Devils, again, do not care. They clearly look at Timo Meier, just like, here you go, Bo Horvat. There you go.
I don't know what he was thinking, why he was throwing it across ice there.
Yeah, he's trying to get it up over Bo's stick, but even Darren Pang's like, I don't understand what he's trying to do. Just turn around, just go. You got a guy behind you, right? Luke Hughes is right there. What are we doing here?
I know this game doesn't matter, but if that happens against Carolina, people are going to be pissed.
Yeah. We can't keep winning games, man. We can't keep winning games. Why are we doing this? It makes no sense. Jesus. And we didn't play well either. We didn't play well. The Devils played worse.
The Devils played worse. Bo Horvat's 28th goal. So he has an outside shot for 30, I guess.
Yeah. So we need at least 3 goals over the next 3 games, from 2 from Bo Horvat and 1 from Lee. Done.
Okay. Sure.
A goal a game.
Goals. I could live with that.
Same. We just did it here. Done. A goal a game. There you go.
There's only two games left. So
shit.
They're gonna maybe you lose like 3-2 or 4-2.
Fair enough. I don't want 2 goals. We might win. We scored 1 in 1.
This is true. All right, Mitch. Third period. The Devils get hit with the too many men on the ice penalty a minute into it. Nothing really going on that power play. And then you would get a late push from the Devils in like the final, I would say roughly 5 minutes, maybe a little bit less than that. And I thought Sorokin looked, I mean, he had the shutout, so he looked good today, but particularly during that flurry of shots, I thought he played strong.
Yeah, the Devils were out skating us continuously on every shift in those final 5 to 10 minutes of the game. And it made us look stupid, but they couldn't get anything through Sorokin. As much as they were skating and generating stuff, it wasn't a whole lot of quality. The Islanders were doing a good job of clogging up the middle, which is where it was that all year long. But they also, you have to remember, the Devils don't have Jack Hughes and they don't have Dougie Hamilton. Those are big guns missing out of their lineup. And if this is a team they're bringing into the playoffs, they're not making it past the first round. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think so, which is tough, but you lose two of your star players like that. It's going to be tough, especially going up against the Carolina team that's, as we know, is very talented.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, as X-Pun is saying here, the White Whale strikes again in closing out this game and picking up the 1-0 win for the 2 points.
Yeah, I'm partially happy for Ilya Sorokin. I'm not like, oh my God, this is the best result ever, but I don't know. He's had a tough year. He just got hurt. He came back, has a shutout. Like, it's hard for me to be. I'm not upset with him. Part of me is happy for him, even though the result doesn't really matter to me.
No, he didn't belong there. He shouldn't have been playing. So it is what it is.
All right, let's do the game stats here. Let's take a look at that. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. 25 shots on goal for the Devils to the Islanders 22. Devils better in the face-off dot, 52.4%. 0 for 3 on the power play were the Islanders, and 0 for 1 were the Devils. 9 penalty minutes to the Islanders 2. A lot of hits and blocks for the Islanders, 27 hits and 22 blocks. Giveaways 31 to 23.
That's bad.
That's disgusting. Takeaways 3 to 2.
So again, that giveaway stats shows you how little these two teams cared about the game. Just no puck management whatsoever on either side of the ice. Insane.
No, not one that people are going to really remember all that well. All right, Mitch, let's do the ice time game here. Who is your leader for Islanders forwards?
It is Bo Horvat.
You said that confidently, and I would have as well, but it's Kyle Palmieri at 20 minutes and 31 seconds.
Dude, Kyle Palmieri. Every freaking why is it Kyle Palmieri? It makes no sense.
It's not like he's been particularly good ever since they traded away Brock Nelson. He's been fairly quiet.
Right. And a winger. Like centers usually have the most ice time because they're out there for more faceoffs. You need them for something. And if you're going to have a guy or someone to win a draw, it's Bo Horvat, who's winning like almost 60% of his draws. Why not? And the other two centers, Peugeot played, right?
Yes, he did. 15 minutes and 32 seconds.
Didn't notice him at all. I don't think they said his name once on the broadcast.
Well, he didn't have a shot on goal, so that would that would go for that.
Yeah, Cizikas, I saw him out there, and I certainly saw McLean, but
I have you know how we sometimes you'll come up with like an anecdote from watching and something you notice. I have noticed something with Casey Cizikas recently.
Okay,
how many times is he going to completely fan on a shot in the slot?
Yeah,
he did it at least 3 times today.
At least. What about the Hudson Fasching one at the end?
Oh, yeah, that was my reaction. I chuckled because he can't buy a goal. He has 1 on the year. Similar play too. Had a wide open net on his 1 goal. It was just on the right side. This one on the left side. A little backhand forehand and just sent it to Jupiter. I don't know what happened there.
Sent it to Jupiter. I love that. At least we can laugh.
Yeah, we try. We try to keep it light and fun.
Yeah, Jake's saying he's always falling down. It's probably what's not helping him.
Yeah, that too. Like he winds up for this big shot and is like falling, and it just.
Did he get Sebastian Aho skates?
Maybe there was Sebastian Aho is gone and he's passed the torch to Casey Cizikas now. Bad
times, Casey. Find someone else to take up that mantle, buddy.
Least amount of ice time is
Matt Martin.
10 minutes and 6 seconds for Matt Martin.
Yeah. Again, fine, but it's done. We've gone over that, right? Defenseman, leader, Tony DeAngelo.
No, it was a Noah Dobson day. 24 minutes and 53 seconds for Noah Dobson.
I thought with Pelech missing quite a bit, then maybe Tony would rack up a few more minutes, and there was a lot of power play time. But obviously, he went to Noah.
Yeah. So least Adam Pelech leaves in the second with 9 minutes and 6 seconds, so we won't count him. Who is the next least?
Scott Mayfield. I barely noticed him out there.
He played more than he has because they only had 5 guys, but 19 minutes and 26 seconds was the least of the 5 that played the whole game.
Yeah, he didn't even play 20 minutes, and they needed him to cover a guy for half the game.
Yeah, essentially.
Tells you how much they want to play him.
As for Ilya Sorokin, he stopped all 25 shots that came his way. So he was perfect.
He was perfect. He really was. He wasn't tested very much, though. I did have the XG up earlier, but I don't imagine it's quite high. XG for against. XG against in all situations, 1.85. So he did stop 1.85 goals above expected, but that's certainly not a lot.
That's more than I thought. My guess was going to be like around 1.2.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Ready to go through some comments here?
Yeah, let's rip some comments. I'm going to check and see if we get any quotes, but I haven't seen anything of note here. But
Nick starting by Lou's going to send his franchise back to the Stone Age. Slowly but surely.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so it's time to consider putting the C on Horvat, says Jamie Pins. I'd hate to see Lee go, but if we can get younger with that move, it should be considered.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming off of potentially a 30-goal season, too, which one more year left. Maybe they eat some money on it. Like, I don't know, if they eat a million or $2 million and there's Lee at $5 million who can give you 30 goals, I would think is enticing as a rental option for 1 year.
Yeah. Jimmy, finger on the pulse yet again. I'm once again bailing on the post game for religious service. I don't imagine a lot of people watch the game today. There's 38 eyeballs on the show. But he likes to say, remember to like and subscribe, please.
There you go.
Very important.
Thank you.
Andre, very sarcastic. Great job, guys. We just ruined draft lottery position. Why the hell is Sorokin playing?
I don't know. I immediately texted Mitch and said, why is Ilya Sorokin playing?
Yeah. John kind of going off of that as well, saying they're going to win out and pick like 13th, aren't they?
Probably.
Like they're what, 11th now with today?
Oh, yes, 11th.
Which is whatever. We can still move up 10 spots, right? To first overall. So whatever, I guess. But like that's the odds are not good, obviously.
No, obviously it'd be better to lose these games. They have Washington and Columbus as the last 2.
Yes, I believe that's accurate. Yeah, in that order, I think.
Yes.
Jake, also on Sorokin, I get that Sorokin played great, but there's no way he should have played today given the circumstances and coming off of an injury.
100%.
Yeah. So John says, who made the decision to ice the regular roster? I just don't get it.
I don't know.
They're not going to make call-ups from the AHL. I get it, guys. I know. Well, also because Bridgeport is playing today.
Oh, good.
I believe.
Stack another out.
They were losing last I checked 1-0 to Wilkes-Barre. Yeah, game was at 3, so they just started. And yeah, last I saw, I don't have my phone on me, so I don't get the updates on the score, but I'll just find it now. They're losing 3-0, end of the first period.
Hot start, attaboy.
Holy shit. Oh, Bridgeport coming in hot, doing the same thing we are. Not even, we won. I just assumed we were winning. Gary's saying that he hopes that Shannon leaves Toronto and comes to the island. What do you think of that? This is not the first time this has been brought up.
No, we've mentioned that a few times. I would take him over Lou Lamoriello, obviously, but I'm not convinced that he's going anywhere. I think Lou's going to be here next year. Unfortunately, that's not what I want, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely 100%. That's what's going to happen. I'm not surprised. You can't convince me otherwise unless it actually happens. And then I will be celebrating. Love Lou, love what he did, but it's time. It's time to go. I don't trust him necessarily to be like, we're going to bring changes. Even though that's not how Lou talks at all. He's not Kermit the Frog. But he's not going to do anything. Ryan saying, didn't watch. How do we do? Well, the score tells you everything you need to know.
It was 1-0. 1 goal was scored at the end of the second. It was pretty uneventful. Adam Pelech took a headshot and was clearly upset. That was the game right there. 30 seconds, if that.
Yeah. Jake is saying here that Lou's setting records for the oldest GM every year. stacking records upon records.
Keep racking them up. Pile it high.
Richard is saying that Roy wanted Sorokin to win his 30th game of the season is the only reason we can see that he exposed Sorokin to possible injury.
It's such a meaningless. I'm not saying that like Richard's wrong to bring that up, but that's such a meaningless number to put your goalie in for. You're like, oh, he had 29 wins. He had 30 wins instead of 29.
Yeah,
piece of shit.
Yeah, who cares? But no, you're absolutely right, Richard. This is probably why he did it, because someone like Pelech would be looking at that and probably valuing it just as much as we would value 30 goals, right? Like, why'd you take the guy out who's got 29 goals on the season when he can score his 30th? Maybe that's it, but I just don't think that we as a public value that very much. It's not the same value.
No.
Joseph is saying, is Marner a pipe dream? What if we offer 15 million? This team lacks top end talent, and in my opinion, Besser doesn't move the needle. Heard the other day he's 100% out of Vancouver. Yes, 100. He's 100% out. We need more than Barzal, and Lee will regress. I just want to put a pin in this before I forget. There's someone else who's 100% out that you sent me earlier, and I want to talk about that at the end of the show if we can.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, perfect. What do you think about this?
I do think Marner's a pipe dream, unfortunately. Even if they threw him a bag like that, I don't think Joseph is wrong to say like they need a top-end talent like that. Sure, they're going to be competing with how many different teams and how many teams in better situations than that they are, unless Matt Martin's like, I'll play one more year if you come to Long Island. And he's like, in. That's the only way, and that's complete copium right there.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with everything you said. It is 100% a pipe dream. I want it, and I will still root for it, and I still would like it to happen, but it is 100% a pipe dream. I don't think it's going to happen at all.
No, that'd be shocking, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. He will get 15 million or $13 million, let's say, to play anywhere else, and they'll have a better team around him. From Hockey Life, is it that big of a deal if we don't even win the lottery anyway? What's the difference between 13th and 3rd in the draft? Insanely substantial difference? Weak class? No?
It is a weaker class, but when you like 3 would be a significant higher chance of getting someone who can give you an impact than 13 would, I would think.
You're looking at either drafting James Higgins, which at one point was touted to be first overall talent level, or Porter Martone, if you're drafting 3rd, let's say, which 98 points in 57 games with 37 goals. Yes, please. Or someone like Carter Bear, which you probably haven't heard of. Still a good player.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him, but it is a big difference, especially in a weaker class. The better chance of you moving up is obviously the best case scenario.
Yeah, I think this draft may not be strong. It may not be deep, but it's strong at the top. There's quite a bit, like we said, with Schaefer, Misa, Martone, and Higgins at the top that they could be game-breaking level talents in the top 4. That could be huge if we got in there.
Those 4 guys, I think, are in a class above the rest of the first rounders.
Yeah. He's saying we all know that Boston's going to get the first overall pick. It's going to be break for them.
God. Right now, Boston has pick number 4, and they're projected for James Higgins, which would make me so upset.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. What is it? Mercy is saying Lou is a Moran who plays their star goalie and risks him getting hurt worse. Sorry, had a great game. I'm guessing we pick 11th or 12th. Who can we get who can score at that number?
The guy that you just mentioned, right? Carter Bear has 40 goals this year. Jake O'Brien, maybe.
Yeah. Stan Carbonneau has 46 goals at the QMJHL level, but it is the QMJHL level. So, like, you never know, man. I know that we shit on the Q, but he's still getting 46 goals at his age, right? So there's something there. 2006 is an 18-year-old. Like, that's someone I would look at. But we'll have to see. Jake O'Brien would be another one, big center down in Brantford. Those guys could probably score at this level. But we got scoring coming up through the pipeline in Cole Eiserman. We just saw it, the other day. Unfortunately, he didn't win the national championship, but that's the guy who can score.
That's true.
But Hellraiser's like, we have our star in Duclair.
Is he here? We had someone ask in the Discord, so I'm going to plug the Discord. Subscribe to the Patreon to get in there. I was like, is Anthony Duclair coming back? Like, I don't know, dude. I have no idea.
I don't think so. I really don't think he's coming back this year, which makes sense with everything we've got going on there. So, Jan is saying Keefe, after acknowledging the bad hit, quickly talking about how important it is to not have one of his players injured in meaningless games like this. Wow, low point today.
Yeah, totally fair. It was a bad hit, and I'm worried for Adam Pelech, who has had a couple concussions and has injury issues. Guy misses 20 games every year.
Yeah, it's not great. Good one here from Ryan saying, how does a draft lottery work? And he's new to hockey. Oh, you brought it up. Perfect.
I was going to pull that one up if you didn't. So we'll look at this together, guys. So this is the percent chance that each team has for the first, for each pick. So San Jose or whatever team finishes 1 is going to get a top 3 pick. Whatever team finishes 2 is going to get a top 4 pick. Nashville top 5, and so on and so forth. And then when you get to 11, you can move up. Like the Islanders can move up to 1, 2, or 3. They can't move up to 4 through 10. It's either they're picking at 11th or there's a slim chance. What is that? 6.3% chance they end up with the top 3 pick.
I don't know how you win third. Maybe I'm just dumb here, but under the current rules, you can only win. The lottery is only available for the first and second overall picks. You can no longer win the third overall pick. I know some teams might move back, but we're either moving up 10 spots into 1 or 2 or not. So I don't understand how that's going to work. But yeah, we have a 3% chance of first, 3.2% chance of second, but a 79.9% chance of drafting 11th.
Yeah. So most likely we'll be picking 11th overall if that's how the season ends. But Tankathon does a really good job. So if you go on their website, Tankathon, and click the NHL page, and then they have pick odds, it'll give you the percentage chance of where each team is going to pick.
Yeah. Can you do a mock draft? Just one mock draft real quick. Just click.
Okay. So if you go to mock draft and we sim the lottery,
see what happens.
Islanders stay at 11.
Right. So there you go. So the chances of us moving super low, but I like to click on it anyways. Philly moves up 4. Imagine they get Michael Meese on top of that. That would be awful.
Would hate that.
I would hate that so much. What else do we got there? Joseph, does anyone step up? Did anyone step up after Pelech got hit?
Not really.
No. The game, yeah, that's not what you want to see, man. Again, bloodied and very frustrated.
Yeah, he was clearly upset.
Yeah. Any way that Lou steps up or moves up to get Higgins at the draft?
I would say unlikely.
I think so too. It'd be, the price might be too high for what we've got, unless they want a bunch of firsts. But I don't think any team wants that.
No, I would be surprised.
Yeah. So I put a pin in something because you brought it up earlier, and I wanted to address this because I think this could be interesting going forward with the NHL. It is not Islanders related, but it is New York related, I suppose. So all y'all have some kind of rooting interest in this, I would assume, because it involves the Rangers and it involves chaos in a negative way, which is just, let's eat it up here.
And a former friend of the program, Calvin DeHaan.
Me and him, best friends.
So apparently Calvin DeHaan walked past the media and was about to get on the ice and commented on how it's all finally over. He said something to the effect of, how about the way I've been treated here? It's fucked. We asked if he wanted to talk. He said yes, and that he would be, quote, very transparent.
Yeah. And then later she says, like, the Rangers took him aside and said, you cannot do this. You have to wait. So because he's at the end of his contract, is he not?
Yes.
With them. So well, with them, they picked him up in the trade market, didn't he?
He's not the first one to have comments like this, though.
Yeah. So we'll see what he has to say in the offseason, and I'm sure more will come of it. Because if he says something, I imagine Jacob Trouba is going to be like, I have a hand up, guys. My hand is up as well. I have shit to say as well.
Yeah. He played 3 games since being acquired there, and it's been a scratch for 18.
Yeah. And apparently they're doing well in the 3 games he played, and he was fine.
So he replied to a tweet. It's really long.
He did?
Yeah, Calvin DeHaan.
Of course he did. My man's right up in there.
This is 3 paragraphs, so I'm not going to read the full thing, but essentially he was saying that he's frustrated that he didn't get a chance to contribute. He's not trying to play the villain or anything, but just wanted to talk about how it's been frustrating.
That is lame. That is not the vibe of the message. When you start throwing the F-bomb around and talking about how effed up it is, it's usually a lot more substantial than just like, I wish I could play more. Come on, there's more to this. Coward.
Yeah, there's definitely more meat on the bone. So I wonder if we get anything, but it won't be soon. I think it would be after the season.
Yeah, he's not going to say anything until the season is done. Alon is saying like Laviolette is a disaster. At least the Rangers will fire him. We continue to run it back with Grandpa Senile Lou.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and they're ready to pull the Band-Aid, it seems. So, but so are we on this show, I think.
So that'll do it for us. We'll be back later tonight with a full podcast. So if you're interested in that, check it out on patreon.com/uptheturnpike and make sure to subscribe here as well on YouTube at youtube.com/uptheturnpike. So that'll do it. I'm Matt. He's Mitch, and we'll catch you next time.